Good morning. It's so good to see you. I am Kristen Ingram. I'm our president of Clarity Global in North America. I'm also our head of social media, and I am joined today by Tamara Littleton, the co founder of Pulpeo, which is also one of our preferred partners in the Clarity Global Crisis Council. Tamara, I'm so excited to be speaking with you today.
Thank you. It's absolutely great to be here.
I know you and I share a love of social media, but we also are traditional comms in our background as well. But thinking through social media, particularly when it comes to crises, so much of our industry sees social media as the source of a crisis, and traditional communications as that sort of hero solution to a crisis. Why do you think it's important that we rewrite that narrative and teach communicators to see and use social media as a reputation solution?
It's definitely a reputation solution tool because, I mean, if we take the first part of it, I would say is the monitoring. So using social listening to just do a temperature check of the audience and consumer sentiment, for example, identifying what is it that people are talking about and maybe predicting where the crisis could be going. So that bit is really important. And it also helps you bring some reality to a situation that can be very emotive. So, if, for example, you're using social listening really regularly to establish a benchmark of what is your normal level of backlash or noise or consumer frustration, for example, I think that helps that when there is a crisis, you can work out, is this really a crisis or is it just a distraction? Because I think it can be easy to fall into that trap that basically it could be just an issue, and data
Mhm.
helps with that reality check. And one of the things that the way I like to think about it is, I don't know if you know of the plimsoll line on ships. They're kind of the load line. So essentially, if the company knows what is their normal load line and how much noise there is around on social media, you know that basically if the social media sort of listening goes above a certain level, then it could sink the ship essentially. So I think that's a good way to see it. So that's the social listening, and then perhaps if we go back to comms, I think it can just help diffuse a situation with, if there is a backlash on social media, if you're in the middle of a crisis, I don't think you'll argue with this one, but a carefully worded, empathetic statement put out at exactly the right time with the right tone, it can just take the wind out of the sails of a crisis and diffuse that situation. And I'd say that we do live in a time of misinformation and backlash, and it's kind of normalized that people will attack individuals and companies on social media, and it's almost like a bit of a sport for many. So I think it's not just about knowing how to communicate. I think people need to understand, how groups think. What is the psychology of that sort of group think on social media, and then that importance of clear, empathetic, and authentic communication, and then the technical aspects of monitoring. So it all needs to be part of our industry toolkit, in my mind.
I completely agree. And I think, not to completely oversimplify it, but there's a reason why social media is two words. It's important that it be social, but recognizing that it is also a media platform. And I think for a lot of brands and corporations, they lean so heavily into the media side of it and saying what they want to say when they want to say it, that part of the crisis preparedness or crisis avoidance is really just honoring the social side of it and fostering that community with values and with honesty. I think that's a real place where the best the best crisis response is crisis preparedness and crisis avoidance.
Yeah, absolutely. And it can be tempting to slip into just broadcast mode, but just remembering when to respond to individuals and look out for influencers that you can help sort of change the direction of a crisis. So yeah, it's so important that people understand how to use it properly.
Yeah. One final thought on that. I know that there's a lot of talk about where and how, AI is impacting our industry. And I think for brands in particular, sort of turning over that community engagement to the bots. Do you see that as also a place where they're essentially almost creating their own crises by not keeping the human and the social side to social media?
Well, I think AI is going to improve things and make everything more efficient and be able to look for trends and all the sort of the good stuff. But you do still need the human pilot to be sort of taking care of things and sort of showing the bots what good looks like. So I think it will be a mixture of the two. But there's no denying that the kind of work that we used to take several people to do 24 hours a day can be done in a matter of hours now using AI. So, but I think it would be if we're saying that the power of empathy and good communications can change the course of a crisis. I still feel that you need that human element in there.
Mm, couldn't agree more. Well, thanks so much. I know we have more to talk about, but that's a great place to start.